My name is Nick Duncan, and this is my testimony. When I was 13, I started chewing tobacco because I started hanging out with a lot of older kids, and that's what they did, so I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And then I went to work underground, and I dipped while I was underground, and I smoked when I was above ground. Then we started coming out here, and Lacey quit smoking. She didn't want me to smoke in the house, so I guess you'd say, traded one habit for another and just started dipping all the time. I would dip probably roughly at work. I'd probably dip 2 cans and then 1 can at home. And then whenever I quit coal mining, I just seemed like every time I turned around, had to chew in my mouth. So I would say probably 3, maybe 4 cans a day I was chewing. I had about $100 a week habit, and me and my wife a year ago decided that we was going to open up our family business up on the corner of Marion, the tire shop, and I was going to be dealing with the public. When I was underground, it didn't matter. Everybody down there did it. It wasn't a thought in my mind it's just a way of life down there. So, but whenever I wasn't doing that anymore, and I was around public, and I didn't want people to just think that I was the stereotype mechanic. I didn't want to be the nasty guy up on the corner. I was bound and determined that I was going to quit, and I tried. I really did, and I've quit a lot of bad habits. A lot of stuff that people said that they can't quit. I just dropped and walked away. And this one, it was just, I tried and tried and tried, but I don't know if it was because it was so easy for me to go get it, to where the other I had to work to go get, or what it was, but it was just always a crutch that I'd fall back on. They started talking about people getting delivered from addictions and all kinds of miracles happening in the water at Georgia. And I just made my mind up that that's what I was going to go down and get dipped in the water for. So when we found out our date, that's what I started praying, and I really started pushing forward, asking God for the strength to put it down and not have it. And I had my last chew the Saturday before we left, and it's been harder and harder, and that's because, 1, I've been praying that I wanted to quit, and 2, I had a wife that talks to God every day that was wanting to make sure that it would be just so nasty that I couldn't chew anymore. And it was like I used to be able to put a chew in and it would last an hour. I was putting a chew in and I would feel bad, or I'd get heartburn or indigestion or sinuses or something, and I'd have to throw it away. And I knew it was because my wife was praying against it. That's just what it was. And that last chew, I put it in and I had it for about 15 minutes, and I was like, man, this is nasty. And I threw it out, and when we left the parking lot that morning, I left that can of chew in the car, and I didn't take anything with me to Georgia. And that was me telling God that when I got down there and got in the water, I wasn't going to do it anymore. I guess that was my leap of faith. You got to have action with faith. That's what we've been taught for the past 6 years out here at Life in Christ. And then whenever I went in the water, it was just like it felt like the nicotine addiction was like a blanket that was wrapped around me, and I couldn't take it off. It's like it had its claws sunk in me, and I could just feel it get lifted off my shoulders. It was amazing. I don't know any other way to explain it other than I met Jesus in that water. About a year ago, I noticed that my lip was getting in pretty bad shape. My gums was tore up pretty bad from all the chewing tobacco. It was like hamburger meat. That's all it was just tore up and shredded on the inside where I always kept that wad of chewing tobacco. There was a big hole, cavity down in between my lip and my gum, uh, and my teeth they were bad. That one had a big hole in it where I had a filling, and then it was turning brown and breaking in pieces. And I mean, I never went to the dentist just for the plain fact: one, I didn't want to spend the money, and two, I knew what they was going to tell me. They was going to tell me it was because I chewed tobacco. That's all they would say, and then they'd just pull it, and I'd have a big hole in my mouth. And I didn't go in the water for him to heal all that. And when I come out, I never thought about it. I went back there and I got dressed, and then when I went and met my wife, and we went back in there to watch everybody else get baptized, I was talking to Pastor, and I usually run my tongue around my teeth, and I know it sounds weird, but I didn't feel the hole or the roughness on my gums anymore. Now at that time I still had the hole in my tooth. I mean, it didn't like miraculously get healed like my gum did. My gum was crazy. It felt just like the other side. I never had a chew in a day in my life. It was like brand new again. 2 days after we come back, we was eating ice cream at the house, and I used to have to eat ice cream on my right side of my mouth because that one tooth that had the hole in it, it would get down in it and it just hurt like crazy. And me and Colton was eating ice cream, and I got to sitting there thinking for a minute. I was like, man, it's like I don't feel that tooth broke anymore. So I just to test it, I kind of moved the ice cream over to that side of the mouth, see if it hurt, and it didn't hurt. I went in there and I told Lacey, I said, look at my tooth. She looked in there and she said, well, there ain't nothing wrong with it. I said, exactly, there ain't nothing wrong with it. I said, it ain't got a big hole in it, and it ain't brown or black, and it's not that I didn't think God could do it, because I knew God could do anything that you let him do. It's not that God can do anything he wants to do. It's anything you let him do, God will do. I mean, all I wanted was the addiction of nicotine to be gone. I didn't want to do it anymore. And then whenever everything else happened, it was I was just blown away.